Alright, this is John Cola with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and this is going to be one of my famous haul videos showing you guys what a raw food is going to be eaten for the next month. I've come back from the Los Angeles wholesale produce terminal to get about a half a load of produce this trip, since I actually overbought last trip. Still actually have a few things left over from last trip. But we got a whole load of new stuff that we'll be eating for about the next month, and we're going to share that with you guys. Along the way, I'm also going to share my opinions about a few different kinds of foods that may be available, including local, conventional, and organic, and the importance of each of them in a raw vegan diet, in my opinion. Anyways, let's go around the back of the truck, open it up, and share with you guys some of the foods I bought this month. Alright, so now we're going to open our Jeep and see what we got. So as you guys can see, I have a Jeep full of produce, and I encourage you guys to eat a fresh fruit and vegetable based diet. You know, eat more fresh fruits and vegetables. Does this mean you have to eat all fruits and vegetables with some nuts and seeds like I do? Of course not. You know, my whole message to you guys is eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, because the facts are clear. Most standard Americans are eating less than 10% of their calories from fruits and vegetables, and most of which are actually potatoes in the form of French fries. And that's not too cool. So I want you guys to eat a diversity of fresh fruits and vegetables, and that's what you're gonna see in this video today. You know, I didn't just buy 20 cases of bananas to eat for the month. I didn't buy, you know, a couple cases of dates to eat for the month. I have a whole bunch of different varieties of fruits and vegetables, and that's something that's very important and near and dear to my heart, because every different fruit and vegetable contains a whole plethora of not only vitamins and minerals, but more importantly, phytochemicals and phytonutrients. You know, as I've learned more about raw foods, it's some of these nutrients that are even more important than just the calories or just the protein or just the fat. So let's go through and share with you guys some of my amazing deals and some of the amazing fruits and vegetables that I bought this month. The first one, of course, are the mangoes. As you guys can see, I got 4 cases of mangoes, and these are all organic mangoes here. There's 8 in a case, and each case was $6.50, so that's less than $1 a mango. Some of these guys are a bit firm, so they're not yet ready to be eaten yet, although they will ripen up. There are a few I got that are actually nice color and a little bit soft that will be ready to eat sooner rather than later. So we're probably going to save these probably for at least a week or two until they ripen up, then be able to eat them. These will be stored actually outside of the fridge to allow them to ripen properly. So some of the ways I enjoy eating the mangoes are, number 1, I enjoy mono meals of mangoes. What's that? A mono meal is just eating one fruit until you're full. I really dislike fruit salads and such concepts. You know, for me, on these size mangoes here, I might eat like 4 or 5 mangoes as one meal, and then I'll be totally full and not desire anything else. Of course, other ways I'll use mangoes sometimes is I'll make mango smoothies, so I'll blend some mangoes, maybe with some bananas and some coconut water and maybe some young coconut meat, and have a delicious smoothie. Other ways I like to use the mangoes are in salad dressings at night. So one of my favorite recipes for mangoes is using some mangoes, some ripe mangoes, some fresh, ripe bell peppers, red, orange, or yellow, never green because they're not ripe, and like 1 hot pepper, whether you got to use some cayenne powder or a real fresh hot pepper out of my garden like I still have. You can make an amazing, you know, fat-free dressing to put over your leafy green salad. Alright, so next we got a box of papayas. So these are conventional papayas. Organic papayas can be actually rather expensive. So we got some conventional papayas, and these were seconds, you know, or papayas that are probably going really ripe and bad soon. As you guys can see, some of these are damaged, such as this one got smushed on this end. Really bad bruise spot, but don't throw it away, man, especially if you get it for cheap, because check it out. Look at this guy. This is what a papaya should look like. You know, see that nice color, like nice rich color, man. It's really vibrant for your eyes. You know, most papayas you get in the store are still kind of green, kind of like a light yellow, not a rich dark color. Plus these are just a little bit soft. Actually, I think this is my breakfast right after I make this video this morning, because we got to use it. So use it or lose it. So because we got this and it was a seconds box, we got them for super cheap. $10 for a box. I think this is like 40 pounds of fresh papaya. I love my tropical fruits, and most of these times these papayas are so ripe, so delicious, I just eat them as mono meals. and rarely I will blend them with, say, bananas and coconut water for a delicious smoothie. So I know you might be thinking, John, man, you just showed us organic mangoes, but non-organic papayas, man. What's up, man? Do you eat organic or non-organic? You know, I always strive to eat as much organic as it's possible. You know, sometimes, even for me, it gets too expensive to eat all organic. Like if I wanted to buy a box of organic papayas, you know, instead of $10, it might have costed me $60. And that's just insane, you know. I like to eat organic papayas when I'm in the tropics, and I actually had some earlier this year. You know, right off the tree is actually the best. But I always encourage you guys to do the best you can, and the best I can is getting some hella good, ripe, conventional papayas for 10 bucks, you know, that my mouth is watering for right now. And, you know, no matter where in the world you are, you know, you always could do what I call good, better, best. You know, best obviously is homegrown, backyard, nutrient-dense, organic. You know, and going down from there, you might want to, you know, go with organic, local, and conventional. You know, in my opinion, any conventional produce, for the most part, is better than a processed, packaged food in a package. You know, once companies start packaging and processing foods, nutrition goes down. And also, those foods are probably also not grown organically, and it's concentrating the, you know, anti-nutrients or toxins, pesticides in that food, in the processed food. So I would definitely eat lower on the food chain, fruits and vegetables, some of the lowest things you could eat, and wash them very well. The other thing you want to remember when buying conventional produce is you want to look up this chart right here. It's actually called the Environmental Working Group. That's EWG. This is the 2013 list. The 2014 list hasn't come out yet. And this is Shopper's Guide to Pesticides and Produce. So what the EWG does is they take basically all the different produce items and compare the amount of pesticide residues in there, and they'll tell you which ones are the worst, or the dirty dozen, and which ones are the cleanest ones and have the least pesticide residue. So I encourage you, if you are eating conventional produce, to pretty much avoid the dirty dozen, pretty much only get these organic, and on the Clean 15, you know, buy them organic if they're affordable, if they're available to you, and if not, you know, I wouldn't have really any reservations on getting some of the Clean 15 produce items myself, and actually you'll see that I do. So on the dirty dozen here, there are apples, celery, cherries, tomatoes, cucumbers, grapes, hot peppers, nectarines, imported peaches, potatoes, spinach, strawberries, sweet bell peppers, plus collards and kale, summer squash, and zucchini. And on the Clean 15 list, we got asparagus, avocado, cabbage, cantaloupe, corn, eggplant, grapefruit, kiwi, mangoes, mushrooms, onions, papayas, pineapples, sweet peas, sweet potatoes. And also I have seen watermelon on this list in past years, as well as something like carrots, but every year it kind of fluctuates depending on the test results of the produce that they're testing. So you can go to ewg.org to learn more about the Shopper's Guide to Pesticides and Produce, or the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen list. I've just simply Googled, you know, Clean 15 Dirty Dozen PDF, so I could print this out. You can actually cut this out, fold it in half, and keep it with you in your wallet or your purse to keep you reminded of what are clean and what are the dirty dozen. So let's go ahead and continue to share with you guys some of the produce I've purchased. Right, next we here, check it out, more papayas. I love my tropical fruits. I believe we are creatures of the tropics and should eat tropical fruits whenever we can. And in here we have also some definitely good papayas, really nice color. Look at some of the colors on these guys, man. They're just vibrant, looking real good. This one particularly just like says, eat me. Check out the color on this, man. You guys don't see normally that color too much. And these ones, you know, are not really damaged, and these ones will probably get eaten after those other ones. So, you know, another thing I encourage you guys to do is sequential eat, or, you know, eat the produce that you have ripest first, and then eat the other stuff later, unless, of course, you get a hankering for something that's not totally ripe, then eat that first. But, you know, it just makes prudent sense to eat the ripest stuff so you don't lose it, so it doesn't get composted, or you don't have to throw it away to your compost pile. So this box here, 40 pounds, was $14 because it is in better shape. And yes, this was definitely a good deal, because normally these papayas run like $1, $1.50 a pound, depending on where you live. Next, of course, we got my favorite source of water coming right out right here. And what these are my coconuts. So these are actually Mexican coconuts that look like the Thai coconuts that are individually wrapped here. And these are the ones from Mexico. These are actually quite rare and hard to find. I've actually only ever seen them in the wholesale produce terminal. I've never seen them for sale at any stores, unfortunately. And these guys taste more like the coconuts off the tree. And in my opinion, these are actually less treated than the ones imported from Thailand, because these, within a few days, will start to mold and get some fungus growth on them. Although I have gotten that on there, you know, and still have them in the fridge for a week, the fungus and all that stuff doesn't get onto the inside because it's got to go through the shell and the hard husk. So the coconut water is my favorite source of electrolytes and my favorite source of water. I don't like drinking water, especially with the water quality in this day and age. I prefer to drink coconut water when I do have it available. Plus also the meat in here is known as a jelly meat, so it's much lower in fat than the older, more mature coconuts. So I use these and they make up the bulk of my smoothie usually for the liquid. And then I'll use the coconut meat usually in the smoothie to add some fat in there, which will increase the absorption of the phytonutrients and the nutrients in my smoothie. And sometimes I'll also use the coconut meat in salad dressings, and sometimes we turn this into coconut yogurt and whatnot. And these guys were a case of 9 for $12 this time at the wholesale produce terminal. So next, over here we got another one of my favorite fruits that probably most of you guys are not eating, unfortunately. And these guys are known as the tunas or cactus fruit. And these guys are actually quite good. They're grown on a cactus. These are kind of more wild grown. They don't appear on the Clean 15 list because probably they're just not in wide distribution. But in my opinion, I mean, you really don't have to spray these guys. These guys will just grow in the desert, in the wild, without anything. And they're so hardy. But yeah, I love these guys because they're really like a dark flesh on the inside, have a lot of phytochemicals and phytonutrients. There is new evolving research for these phytochemicals and phytonutrients that it can help with many different ailments, you know, or what have you. But I just believe in flooding my body with as many phytonutrients and phytochemicals as I can, and just let my body figure it out, and I'll be healthy because of it. And so these guys were 40 pounds for 26 bucks. And actually at this time of year, they actually are quite rare. Hopefully we got sweet ones this time. I always encourage you guys to pick out your cactus fruits as dark as possible. So, you know, optimally you'd want to go, if you're at the store, you want to get the ones that are nice and dark, like purple, versus the ones that are greenish purple. And they're going to be better for you. Now, these guys are very seedy. How I prepare these is actually I'll slice them off, slice off the outer skin. I'll eat the inside. If you want to eat the inside and swallow the seeds, that's great. There are a ton of hard little seeds in there. I don't particularly care to do that, so actually I slice the skin off and put them through the juicer to separate out the seeds from the juice or the nutrition of the cactus fruit. I will oftentimes either drink the juice mixed with coconut water, or mix in with some coconut water and some coconut meat, some young coconut meat, or I'll make a coconut milk with the more mature coconuts and the coconut water, and then also add in the cactus fruit juice, and it's totally delicious. So up until now, all the fruits that I've gotten have not been local. They've been actually imported, actually. I want to also encourage you guys to eat local produce whenever possible. Obviously, local organic produce is best, but if you got to get some local, you know, non-sprayed, or if you don't have organic produce available, get some local, you know, conventional produce. You know, always strive to do your best. What we're looking at here next is we got some navel oranges. These are local California oranges. And we got, let's see, 20 pounds here. And these guys, for 20 pounds, they're about 37 cents a pound. And yeah, so yeah, local foods, always best if you could get them. I also encourage you guys to eat seasonally as well as locally whenever possible. See, whenever possible is the key word there. You know, in the height of the summertime, I'm getting mostly local stuff. I don't have to eat too much imported stuff. You know, I'd like to eat the imported stuff, the tropical stuff that's in season in other parts of the world when I don't have good local, you know, fruits to eat, for example. So I'm eating a lot more tropical fruits right now because, you know, local fruits are not in season. Luckily, citrus is one of the things that is available locally and is in season now. So let's go over a few more citrus fruits I got this trip as well. So next we got a flat of cocktail grapefruits. This was purchased actually at a local farm. And the cocktail grapefruits are my favorite grapefruits, probably because they don't taste like that sour grapefruit. These are some of the sweetest grapefruits I've ever tasted. And these guys are 50 cents each. I usually could just eat these out of hand, or I'll make like a cocktail grapefruit juice out of them, which is so delicious. All right, so next we got some local mandarins. And I like mandarins much more than I like oranges. I actually got a lot more of these. I think we probably got about 30 pounds of these guys. And these guys are in season right now. They're looking nice and vibrant. I always want to encourage you guys to pick your fruits that are full color. You know, don't pick the oranges at the store that are kind of like, you know, looking yellow. Get them as dark and deep orange as you can. They're going to be riper, they're going to taste sweeter, and they're going to have more nutrition in there for you. So we got some really nice dark mandarins that'll probably get juiced up into one of my favorite salad dressings, which is mandarin orange juice and like a handful of macadamia nuts. Blend up in the blender for nice sweet, I don't know, my brother calls it like a orange yogurt style dressing. So yeah, we got a whole bunch of mandarins at the local farm. And oh, these guys were 99 cents a pound, so it's about $30. All right, next we got some more oranges, and these are not just your standard oranges. If you look at them closely, you'll see they're kind of got some red blush. These might be known as the blood oranges, but these were labeled Tarraco oranges, which this Tarraco is a kind of blood orange. So if we cut this open, it's not going to be orange on the inside. It's going to have like a nice dark color. And I just got a bunch of these, probably like one bag's worth. It was 99 cents a pound. That was probably like $4. And I also got some avocados. Now you might be thinking, John, you eat high fat. Well, just because I have avocados doesn't mean I eat high fat. You know, I eat a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables throughout the day, and I do have some avocados in the evening. You know, I try to keep my fat percentage between, I don't know, 15 to 20% fat. On average, overall, some days I'll eat no over fat. Some days I'll have, you know, 20%. And it ranges, you know. And I'll encourage you guys to, you know, check in with your body and see what works best for you. You know, my plan is specifically to, you know, eat some fats with some of the foods I eat, because then I get a better digestion. It slows down, actually, the digestion. So I'm, you know, good for longer. So I don't have to eat, you know, every 5 minutes. You know, if you eat some fat with your meal, it's going to digest slower. You're going to be good for longer. In addition, you're going to get a higher uptake of some of the phytochemicals and phytonutrients in your food, because it is slowing down your digestion, and it's not just moving through you real fast. So we got two kinds of avocados here. We got the Pinkerton avocados that are actually quite good. And then also, I believe we got some nice large bacons, and these guys were only 75 cents each. California grown, local. All right, what we got next here? More avocados. You know, avocados and coconuts are my favorite fats over things like nuts that are much more concentrated. Avocados and coconut fat are more water-rich fats, much more easier to digest than the nuts. Plus, the other thing is that the avocados and coconuts are much less expensive actually than nuts. Nuts can run, man, what are they, like $15 a pound in the bulk bin? Sometimes they could be $20 a pound for maybe macadamia nuts, depending on where you live. So that's why I like avocados. They're much less expensive. So we got some Calvo organic Hass avocados, and as you guys can see, these babies are ripe. Some are actually overripe, like this one is dented. We're gonna make some guacamole out of this a little bit later. But this whole box, and this is a 70-count box of organic avocados, guess how much? $15, less than 1 pound of nuts at a local Whole Foods bulk bins near you. And these guys are gonna go in the fridge, and we'll be eating lots of avocados, as will my little puppy dog, Oakley. He's gonna get one avocado mixed in with his food every night. All right, so besides the young coconuts that I got from Mexico, which I got 2 cases of them actually, $12 each, we got these guys, and these guys are actually the regular fresh coconuts, also known as Coco Fresco Sazon. And if we open this box up, you guys can see these are white coconuts. So these are unlike the brown coconuts that you may find at your local store. The white ones are actually much more rare, hard to find. And even in the white coconuts, they have young white coconuts and then more mature, older white coconuts. This time, I got the more mature, older white coconuts. You can see if you look closely, it's white, but then you could see kind of some brown through there. So these are kind of like more older white ones. When you're picking these guys out, you want to make sure that there's no mold spots near the eyes. If you shake them, you know, you want to be able to shake them and hear the water slosh around and be as full as possible. So if they don't shake, it's even better. They should be heavy, you know, for the weight, and these guys are going to have a thicker meat. So I specifically bought these guys for the water, but also the meat, and I will soon be making some demonstrations, making my famous coconut milk using a vertical single auger juicer with the more mature coconuts. Definitely one of my favorite ways to get some of the benefits of the coconut, including the lauric acid and other things, into me. I do not advocate the use of coconut oil and other oils because, oh, they say that's good because it has medium chain fatty acids. You know, I advocate that you guys eat the whole food. So instead of eating coconut oil, you know, get some real coconuts, get out the meat, make a coconut milk that's going to have some of the oil plus a lot of the other beneficial nutrients that are contained within the coconuts, including the electrolytes in the water. That's most important to me. Now this case here of 20 coconuts was 20 bucks. All right, so the next food I got is actually a ton of food. We got 80 pounds of this particular fruit right here, and check it out. These are premium organic bananas, USDA right here. There's a case right there. Check out these babies, man. These guys are perfect. They'll be a little bit longer till they ripen up. That'll give us some time to eat the papayas before they go bad. And we got lots and lots of organic bananas. Oh yeah, they're gonna be super good. I don't see any green on them, and I like to pick the bananas when they're yellow, especially in the winter time. You know, sometimes you might buy bananas and then they're gonna be kind of like grayish color, and then they just don't ripen up properly. That's because they weren't held in proper temperature. And I also want to let you guys know that all imported bananas are gassed. Yes, even the organic ones, they are gassed with ethylene because the bananas are picked far too early, and then they're, you know, ripened fast with the ethylene gas instead of being allowed to ripen on the vine. Because if they were ripening on the vine, what would happen is they'd get too soft, they'd get mush, and they wouldn't make the transport. So I always encourage you guys, you know, once again, to eat the highest quality, freshest, local foods whenever possible. You know, I got a bunch of citrus, but right now, because we also got a really good deal on the bananas, organic, which are actually the Bananas Unlimited. I also encourage you guys to look for the brands of bananas that have like a fair trade or, you know, something to that extent. All right, so the next thing I got, check it out. Pineapples, and these are just not any pineapples. These are nice looking organic pineapples. Capa Oro Dulce organic from Costa Rica. And there's 6 nice large size pineapples in here. Organic. Guess how much? $9 for 6 organic pineapples. Real good price, and I have learned that pineapples actually last a fairly long time in the fridge, provided you keep them cold and they're not on their way out when you get them. These ones are still rather firm, so they'll probably keep, you know, several weeks in the fridge with no problem at all. So hopefully you guys are seeing that I'm buying a mixture of organic and conventional. I buy organic whenever possible, whenever the price is, you know, not significantly more than conventional, and the item must be on the clean 15 list, or at least me have a belief that it's not heavily sprayed or something really unique and exotic that I wouldn't be able to get organic. You know, if you only ate organic, like I've had friends on a raw foods diet that only eat organic, and they're really limiting themselves, because if you can't get certain fruits organic, then you're just gonna not go with any and not eat any. So, you know, on the occasion that I do find some non-organic fruits, I'm gonna definitely enjoy them if I can't get them organic. All right, next, I got more pineapple. This is definitely a tropical fruit trip. There's not a whole lot of organic produce items, you know, that were at a good price at the local terminal, and this is one of the first places I stopped where I saw non-organic pineapples. Like, this is a case of 10 topped non-organic pineapples. It was like $8 for 10 pineapples. That's less than $1 each. I know these store quite well in the fridge, and I didn't know that I was going to be able to find organic pineapples, because that in itself is quite rare, so I bought them. And the pineapples are on the clean 15 list. Once again, you know, this was the best I could do at that time with the information I had, and I always encourage you guys to do the best you can do with the information you have. I mean, always fruits and vegetables, conventional, are better than other packaged and processed foods, in my opinion. So another thing about these pineapples, I want to show you guys like the coloring on this, right? This is truly a ripe pineapple. A ripe pineapple generally is a nice, brilliant color, much like the papayas. And I saw these guys, and even though they're not organic, I saw that they're quite ripe and actually quite a good price. Nice yellow, vibrant coloring to most of them. And I'm like, I just gotta have those pineapples, because I don't eat pineapples too often. Usually I only eat them if I could get them organic, or if they're really ripe and a good price, such as I got them today. So the next fruit I got is really heavy. This is known as the jackfruit. Ugh. And it's quite big. Smells quite ripe. And these guys are a heavy fruit. This guy's actually a 20-pounder right here. These guys could get up to like 50 pounds or more. And these guys are not organic. I've never seen organic jackfruit available in the continental US, unless maybe you're in Florida and they're grown down there. And these guys were 85 cents a pound. the box weighed 44 pounds of jackfruit. So I got one nice large one that's ripe now, and then one that's not quite as ripe for later. And you know, this is one of those times where literally I wouldn't be eating jackfruit if I only ate organic foods, you know. This is not organic, but you know, I'm gonna look aside that fact because you know, I eat it on very rare occasion when I could get it when it's really ripe. You know, if you're new into buying jackfruits, actually I don't recommend necessarily you buy them whole like this. You know, this fruit can cost a lot of money. I mean, the whole box was about $37. And if you get one and it's not ripe on the inside, you could literally waste like $20 because normally these are maybe like $1, $1.50 a pound in some stores. You could waste a lot of money. So if you're new into buying jackfruits, you don't know how to pick them properly, I recommend that you buy them cut in the store. Many places don't actually sell large ones, they'll actually sell cut pieces. And you want to look for a few things. Number one, you want to look for a nice dark, rich color. It should be either like a dark orange color or a dark yellow color. Also, you want to be able to pick it up and it should smell like really fruity, right? It actually smells like the juicy fruit gum because that's where they got the flavor of juicy fruit gum from the jackfruit. So I can't wait to be eating my tropical jackfruits here just in a few days. So up to this point, you've noticed that I pretty much had, you know, fruits and mostly sweet fruits. You might be thinking, John, are you a fruitarian or fruitarian? Well, yes, most of my calories actually come from fruit, but I advocate also a diet rich in vegetables, something that many fruitarians may not be doing, and in my belief and from what I've seen, it may be to their detriment. I encourage eating a lot of vegetables, as many as you could get in. My goal is to get 2 pounds of leafy greens a day, as well as other vegetables, whether they're root vegetables or stock vegetables. I think they're all definitely good. Next, we got what would be considered some vegetables, which technically are really fruits because they do contain seeds. And we got 25 pounds of hothouse grown tomatoes. So, you know, aside from just conventional and organic, there are things like in between, like hothouse. So hothouse grown foods such as the tomatoes, they do peppers, cucumbers, and even hydroponic lettuces, you know, do not need to be sprayed with herbicides because they're growing inside and there's no, you know, weeds growing. In many cases, they don't actually need to be sprayed with pesticides because the greenhouse is a closed-in house that are keeping the bugs out so they don't have outbreaks of things. In addition, most greenhouse grown produce these days are grown using a technique called IPM, or integrative pest management, which means they'll release beneficial bugs to, you know, eat the bad bugs before they spray toxins. So they're much more conscious, in my opinion, you know, of everything going on and having cleaner food. Many brands of the greenhouse grown products these days, you know, do claim pesticide free. My favorite brands are Eurofresh and Windset. Today I actually got the Windset. So these are Windset hothouse grown tomatoes. So not organic, but not conventional and not sprayed probably. These were 25 pounds for $8. So definitely a good deal. Some of these are soft, some are firm. They will last a fair bit of time out of the fridge. I do not recommend fridging your tomatoes. It takes the taste away. And you know, we're probably end up drying some of these guys, so we'll have some sun-dried tomatoes. Next, we got more tomatoes. So you know, we're gonna eat those tomatoes first, and then these tomatoes are gonna get eaten next. These are actually still on the vine, and I've had these guys last like, you know, several weeks after you buy them, and they still will remain fresh. This also depends on how they were handled before you purchase them. So hopefully they were not fridged, because if they get fridged, then that kind of messes everything up, and they'll kind of expire faster. If they haven't been fridged, then they'll last longer. So yeah, these guys were, let's see, 12 packs of 1 pound each, and it was $12. So it was 1 pound for $1 for some Campari. So I actually prefer the Camparis to the regular standard beefsteaks. They definitely have a much better tomato-like flavor for me. And this is especially important in the winter time when you can't have homegrown tomatoes. So the final fruit, some may call vegetable, that we got are right here. We actually got 2 cases of these guys. These are actually US grown, California grown, hothouse baby miniature cucumbers. Many Costco's sell these little packs of the Fresco cocktail cucumbers. You know, usually around $5 a little pack for 1.5 pounds. At that price, I think it's actually quite expensive, and I'd go broke if I ate them. But at the wholesale produce terminal, These guys were basically $15 for 10 of these packs, which is 1.5 pounds, which means they were $1 a pound for hothouse grown cucumbers that are probably not sprayed. And I like these little guys because not only can you just take them out and eat them, nice and crunchy, water rich, they're low in calories. Besides slicing them on salads, I'm eating them plain, maybe dipping in some guacamole since we got so many avocados. These are really convenient and easy to juice. They fit right into the juicer feed chute without any cutting, so most of these guys are gonna get juiced. So you might have noticed that I pretty much purchased all fruits for my vegetables. I prefer to grow all my own vegetables, or as many as I possibly can. So to that effect, I also bought some plant starts with me this trip. And we got a whole bunch of cilantro. I got 10 different varieties of basil, as well as some calendula that can be used you know, for its edible flower or medicinally, as well as some zucchini squash. So we are in a period of time right before this official spring planting time, so I only got a few summer crops to plant early under protected conditions. The next thing I'd like to do in this video is actually take you to my garden to share with you guys the bountiful nests of greens and vegetables I have growing, and talk to you more about local and organic food. All right, so as you guys can see, I got all my fruits off the truck and all my vegetables are coming out of my garden. I have over 20 different round circular raised beds here in the backyard to easily grow all my vegetable needs. There's a variety of things growing this time of year. I don't think I'll take you through a tour of the whole garden, but we got different things like collard greens and brassicas, including broccoli and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts, collard greens. We got different kinds of kale growing. We got beets, and we got Napa cabbages. We got things like leeks and celery. We got lettuce. We got spinach. There's onions here. There's garlic. There's Swiss chard, more celery, tree collards, both green and purple varieties, like head cabbage, escarole. I mean, all kinds of different herbs growing, all kinds of different greens that are growing right now, and other vegetables in my garden. That's the main source of my vegetables, you know. I want to encourage you guys that the local, organic, backyard grown garden or food that you could produce yourself is always the best, right? Always the best on the hierarchy of what's the best produce, you know, local, organic, you know, conventional, greenhouse grown. You know, if you could grow it yourself, that's absolutely best, because you know what went into the soil, you know what went into, you know, what kind of pesticides, if any, you're spraying on your crops. You can pick it fresh, you can eat it right after you pick it for the highest level of nutrition. And one of the sad things, and yes, even in the produce that I bought, you know, most standard agriculture is only putting in or concerned with 3 main minerals back into the soil to feed the plants, to make them nice and large, to make nice and large fruits, right? They're getting paid on the pound. They're not getting paid on how the food tastes, how the fruit tastes. They're not getting paid on if it's ripe or not. They're not getting paid on, you know, how much nutrition is in the food. And I think this is really sad, because we have a monetary-based system that's focused on producing poundage and not high-quality fruits and vegetables. That's where you can, you know, if you have a backyard garden, grow high-quality fruits and vegetables. And this is actually what I teach on my other YouTube channel called Growing Your Greens, where I actually do give garden tours and show you guys exactly what I'm growing, what time of year, and also show you guys how you can grow your own most nutrient-dense foods on the entire planet. So after local backyard grown produce, and yes, even if you're in an apartment, you can grow your own microgreens or sprouts indoors, which I feel are absolutely the best, that you're supplementing the soil, adding trace minerals. I add 70 to 90 trace minerals in my soil. Absolutely the best. Then I'd go with local or organic food, right? You know, you gotta find a local grower that is not spraying toxins or pesticides, you know, on his farm. Hopefully he's adding things like rock dust. That would probably be my next choice, getting local, clean produce. Next, I'd get, you know, standard agriculture organic produce, because that is being shipped in. You know, once produce is cut and shipped, they gotta harvest it unripe. It's not gonna be as sweet, it's not gonna have the nutrition, and, you know, it's not gonna be as fresh. You know, I have a really strong belief in, you know, fresh produce. Freshness is always best. This is what I like to tell you guys. So then after that, then I'd go to like hothouse or greenhouse grown produce. and then I'd go with standard conventional produce items on the clean 15. Of course, this is my hierarchy list of the best to worst produce, and I want to always encourage you guys, do the best you can wherever you live. If all you could get is conventional apples, conventional bananas, do that. You know, do the best you can. Eat as many fresh fruits and vegetables as you can. Do you need to be an entire 100% raw food? It's of course not. Eat more fruits and vegetables, and eat a plant-centric, plant-based diet is what I like to recommend to everybody. Plus, also eat a wide variety. Don't just eat bananas each and every day. Eat bananas, oranges. I mean, I've been to many places in the world. There's always at least a few kinds of fruits available. There's never just only bananas available. And that pretty much sums this up. Hopefully you've learned after watching this episode the wide variety of not only fruits, but also some of the vegetables I eat, that I do eat a fruit and vegetable based diet, and that's what I believe every one of you guys should eat as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this haul video showing you guys what I'm eating for the month. Once again, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time, and remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best. So I don't own a produce delivery service or anything. This is just how much fruit we eat in a month. Alright, this is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. I'm all the way here in Santa Rosa, California at the True North Health Center. They've been water fast.